Alright, so I did some videos earlier today and I will be doing another one here. This here is a large, it is only a beta, but it's the same principle. Um, for a beta, I could potentially go with just 10 theories. I am choosing to go with 15, so I will be able to encircle the Brontos and will have an easier time if I get the theory boss. That is if we don't experience a lot of other bugs on the way. So as you see here, there's 4 plus 3, so that's 7 theories right now. 8, 9, 10, and I only have 14 on this side. Well, that's how it's gonna be. Or maybe I have some on the other line of my bar. Let's see. Yes, I do have enough fairies. So that there is 15 fairies. Um, Like on the others, I go in, I put it to 4 in follow range, and then I copy to all theories, and this should say 14 theories. It did, so there's 15. I then ensure that this is an ignore group whistle. It is. Then I whistle follow on this deco. This time I brought my bat. I do have my mana as well. Um, which I will put out because if it is the theory, the mana is easier with the theory since I can technically do a lot of damage to it myself. Just to check, we started over on that side with Hydras right now, and here making sure that all my Stekos is on ignore group whistle. Ignore group whistle. Ignore group whistle. And last one here. Have a loose fairy from the other side, it seems. It's going back there. And on ignore group whistle, good shit. Then I will fly around and whistle all aggressive to ensure that they're all on aggressive. Aggressive. And aggressive. And one last to go. Go. Checking if that Terry made it back or if it got stuck. It looks like it got stuck, so I will be moving my Gigdesmo, because that's the reason why it's stuck. Turning around so your tail is not in the way. Oh, come on. Corner, and then turn around. There. They should be able to get around now. I will then get my mana out, as I said, in case we get the Revenant, it'll be easier with using a mana. You cannot unpod anything once the actual event is started, but I will be flying Desmo for the majority of it, and then have the mana as a backup if I need to for that Revenant Fairy. Alright, everything is in order. Just waiting for Hydra. Ready? And then we're starting. The difference with small, medium and large is the amount of loot and the amount of waves. On small you get 4, as you see I'm getting 8 now. And there is also 4 entrances. So now I see it's coming from down there. So that, I'm pretty sure it's coming opposite after that, meaning this here is one of the later ones. So I will start with doing 3 resources here, because we're gonna need a lot of resource for a large. There we go. Skip prep. And we are going. Larry should be taking care of the majority of the work here. And while this wave is being defeated, I can quickly show you again so you can see the theories and see there's nothing really broken about it. I am on a unofficial server again, where we have higher breeding rates, so of course breeding is a lot quicker, but I also farmed a shit ton of traits, and that enabled me to breed as fast as I did. But 22k health, around 1300 melee, and a cap saddle. We were very lucky finding a good journeyman blueprint. This was one of the hardest things for us to actually get on Lost Colony. That was a blueprint. We did a lot of missions to be able to get that. Alright, we are on wave 2, so down there I'll probably do a bit of turrets down here. Again, the sooner you get your turrets out, the better, because your turrets are getting better for each wave. So I'll do 2 turrets, and then I will do a Plant Species X. Plant Species X slows, which is quite nice when you have anything getting close to your base. But the turrets are what does the major of your damage. If you want to beat hordes, you do Tesla coils. If you want to beat single mobs, then it is turrets. But the Tesla coil is like a chain lightning. But the Theris again takes care of the majority of the hordes, so I'm only worried about big dinos really. And that is why I focus on turrets. Alright, so now you see second wave is gonna approach from the other side. So for now I'm just leaving 2 turrets and that down there, and I will do the exact same here. So Plant Species X, turret, turret, and then I'm gonna go over to each of the others and make sure I have 2 front turrets, because the more waves that we have the turrets again, the more damage they're gonna do. So even though there's no wave here, we're gonna prep and get these here to get bigger.
Don't let them wreck my property. There are things there more valuable than you.
And my Batman here, he doesn't have anything special. He has decent stats, like we collected a lot of them. But yeah, 5k health, bit of weight, 2k stamina, and almost 900 melee.
So you'll need to bring the fight to it yourself.
And now we're getting... Oh, where are they? I don't see them. There's probably killed them already, but the ones that we got as special mobs here, they sit outside our range and spit at our turret or our base. They can be kind of frustrating, and you need to actually go out and sometimes kill them yourself, but because I have a lot of Theris, they usually also deal with them, as you just saw. So again, 2 turrets and a Plant Species X. Now I usually go to where I started and then finish off that side with turrets first, and then the opposite, and then just keep going. Sometimes I do more resource generation. It lets you get the turrets faster, but it also means that they're not always gonna get the big damage output, because you need to wait additionally a wave before you get them out. Now we're just skipping again.
Don't let them wreck my property. There are things there more valuable than you.
And we're basically just flying around and making sure that everything dies and does as it should. That's a Yuri, shouldn't be a problem. Gonna check anyway. Just did already. Just finishing off the last there. As you see, the higher up in waves you get, the more resources per wave you gain as well. This here is the next step they're gonna come from, and this here was where they were before, so I'll finish off this with turrets. I do not use the healing nor the buff generator. Like if you want to sit and shoot yourself, you can do that, but since I'm using dinos to take care of most of the work, I don't. And I know there's a lot of different guides out there. I just kind of wanted to show you one where you're using theories. Oh, there's just destroyed this, or I forgot to place it. And the reason why I'm focusing on theories, that is because they work excellent on the boss itself as well. They eat cakes, and if you're multiple people, you can bring a Daedon too, meaning you have quite a strong army that is able to manage towards killing the boss, and that can be kind of problematic because you have a lot of bleed damage going on from time to time. During the boss fight, there's the Ocedon that does that spray with ice, and there's flamethrower guys. And to make it simpler, then yeah, something that eat cakes, I always feel is better. And there you see, they are shooting from outside range, so I will go out and kill them if the Theris didn't. They did there. And as you see, these generate resources. I don't know if you saw the blue numbers before, but it basically said 5 or 10, sorry, meaning that they're generating resources. Now I have 2 enemies remaining. They came there. Sometimes it takes time before the last one spawns, and I've even seen that it spawns below the mesh, and if it does that, your outpost is just done. But you see here, we are on wave 6 now, and I have a lot of resources. Basically everything is more or less built, so I'm gonna tear down all of these resource generators. I do not need them anymore. Since I'm not really running the Tesla coils or anything along those lines, my resource requirements are pretty low. So at this point here, I can just get turrets out. And if something happens and one of the side breaks, I will still have resources to rebuild it. Even though it won't be as strong, we'll still be able to get something up. But yeah, now it is basically just flying around and make sure everything dies. There's a Bronto and there's an Ocedon. As you see, the Theris, when you have this amount out, they are usually able to manage by itself as well. Sometimes you do need to help them. This one here might be problematic because they were spawning on the side of it, so we'll take out that front leg. Try to. Come on. I don't know what happened there, but I had problems controlling my bat, so I couldn't get around, so I lost 2 turrets. Meaning I will now need to place 2 new, and they are gonna be at a low level. So instead I'm probably gonna replace them with Tesla coils.
Tesla coils need a lot of energy, but their volatile arcs can zap a bunch of targets at once, and supercharge your turrets to do even more damage.
And as you heard the voice say there, they also supercharge your turrets, so they do more damage. But everything else looks fine. So we're gonna go for wave 7. 75 enemies remaining. Again, the large ones, when you're doing it alone, can be very hectic because you can spawn Brontos on every side, and those Diplos there, they do pushback to dinos. There's basically a lot of things going on that you need to constantly worry about. As you see there, we spawned a lot of Diplos, so now we're just gonna go ahead and start shooting at them to help the Theris get them down. There. And then on to the next. Make sure every side is doing great. This on alpha, those diplos can be very deadly and they do a lot of damage and they AoE, plus they knock back everything. So they can also knock back your stecos, so they're out of position and your Therius will then not be in the correct position. That can also be pretty frustrating. Anyway, last wave, doing a last check, the turrets and everything is up. It is, so let's skip ahead.
Destroy all of them, do you hear me? I want all those things wiped from the face of my kingdom.
So, still flying bad right now, because I don't know what boss we're having. That's gonna determine if I swap to mana. Boss is not there. It's the Theri. And that one is down there, so we are swapping to mana. Hoping Hydra is gonna deal with the rest of the base. Just quickly checking, everything looks fine. And as you see, the Theri is no longer taking damage. That's because they're out of bounds, so passive. And as you see, I'm just keeping them passive right now while I start blasting away at it. And then back to aggressive for a sec. Sometimes you can wedge it into the wall. If it happens, like it's looking like, then you will continuously be able to deal damage to it without it going out of bounds. And now we're knocking it over towards the other fairies, so we are in a very good spot right here. This is what you actually want to have happen. But if you push it away from the base, it becomes very, very frustrating. And it can wreck your outpost if that happens. And I was asked about the loot, so I will finish this and I'll actually show you what loot we get. So first off, of course, I go in, I click, there we go, all the loot dropped. I'm gonna empty my inventory into my Dragling. And let's see, where did I place you? Looking for my Giga Desmodus. Ah well, I can deal with that after. I think it's out here on the left. No, it's not. It's on the other side. If you do not pick this loot up before the base gets destroyed, all loot disappears. That is also pretty good to know. So you really want to pick all the loot up before the base actually disappears. So I'm gonna stand here and then just whip. And then I will show you mine. So as you saw, Hydra got a Thrall. Sometimes you get one, other times you get a lot more. This year was from a beta. So we got some cursed tech gloves. Cursed means they repair itself. Some structures. Always get a lot of structures. Black pearl, metal. What we really want to have is the blueprint. We got a journeyman tech rifle. Don't think we have a blueprint for that, so that's really great. We are currently only using the ones we found. We have found 2 capped. But yeah, that is a large beta defense. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content or want to have other guides, let me know.